Good morning, my fellow South Africans. You know me, I am a logical thinker, I'm a critical thinker, and I believe you get bad apples on the left and you get bad apples on the right. And today I just want to speak about Ernst Roets. This man owes South Africa an apology, okay? And we know him very well. Look at the situation that our country is in. Now, Ernst Roets, as we know, is formerly affiliated with AfriForum. He has played a controversial role in shaping the narrative about our country to the international arena. Now, I understand every citizen is entitled to their views and the advocacy to what they believe is important, okay? But the deliberate dissemination of a skewed and this alarmist portrayal of South Africa, especially on platforms outside the country, big platforms, okay, it raises questions for me about his loyalty, his national dignity, and the broader consequences of his rhetoric and this cuck that he's talking. Now, he owes us an apology because he was one of the main people with that other Willem guy that contributed to giving a distorted image of our nation to the international world, and now it is potentially harming us, and and it is also harming social cohesion within the country and also our future economical prospects. Now, okay, I'm getting a bit worked up here, but the heart of the issue is Roots is consistently framing South Africa as a country that is teetering at the brink of racial conflict, chaos, and imminent and the imminent collapse um of how can I say of social order, for lack of a better word. Now, while his concerns is legitimate regarding crime, poor governance, and social issues, he has repeatedly presented our problems in a sensationalist and selective manner, and then he's centering on these narratives of white victimhood and the supposed targeting of Afrikaners using terms like genocide and stuff like that. Now, this has fueled international perceptions of us as a country as a very hostile and dangerous place. And it's undermining the efforts of countless of South Africans, decent, everyday South African working people like me, black, white, and what all of us working tirelessly to build a more inclusive, just, and functional society. Now, take note, they are surviving him and people like him. They are surviving through creating separation, through division, through this, how can I say, this uh, 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 narrative and racial hatred, okay, for the lack of a better word. Now, from the onset, it can look like, okay, the most harmful consequence will probably be that the country is put in a bad light, and this will impact on foreign investment and tourism. Now, it isn't the only problem, okay? If you have people like Roots painting a picture of so-called unrelenting lawlessness or an ethnic persecution, it discourages engagement with the country, deepening economic challenges that affect all South Africans, especially at the point of vulnerable. Now, it is not mere political disagreement, it is tangible, damaging consequences for millions and millions of South Africans. Now, Roos's actions, it also exacerbates racial tensions rather than ease them. So he's not really looking for a solution. So now he's promoting this narrow version of history and identity, and by seemingly positioning Afrikaner people as the eternal victims rather than equal citizens in a shared democratic project. Now he feels he fuels the division rather than healing. Now such narratives ignore the complex realities of our society, and we are a complex nation. And he downplays the very real legacy of apartheid, which still requires redress. Redress is the word that we need to use. It was never done. Okay? And more importantly, real reconciliation. Now, okay, to be clear, pointing out government failures or crime is not wrong at all. I do it all the time. But a healthy Democracy depends on an open critique. However, when these critiques are broadcasted globally in a way that feeds harmful stereotypes and reinforces racial divides, especially with somebody with his platform and his influence. Now, look at all these podcasts that he has shown on. It crosses the line from civic engagement to, in my opinion, national sabotage. Okay? Now, an apology from him would be at least one step towards restoring our trust. Not because he must abandon his identity or beliefs, but because as a South African, he has a duty to advocate the solutions rather than stir panic. And we also need to build bridges, people. We don't need to burn them in the international spotlight. Now, a sincere acknowledgement of the broader impact of his words and actions, it would also demonstrate maturity, as I mentioned, patriotism, and a commitment to the collective future of South Africa. And a future that we must keep building. All of us are responsible for that. And we must all look towards unity and not division. Okay? And especially in this time of political uncertainty, when South Africa needs all our citizens to contribute to rebuilding and reconcile, figures like Roots must be held accountable for the roles that they have played in undermining this effort. The country deserves advocates who speak with both honesty and compassion, and not those who seek to amplify their fears abroad at the expense of us normal South Africans living here. People, you must have a good day. That was my rant for today. I would like to hear your opinion. Keep well. Please, as I mentioned before, this is a new channel, and I would appreciate your support in one way or another. You can start by subscribing, liking, and commenting. Keep well. Bye bye.